Mic check, 1, 2. Okay, let's go. So, here it is folks, another year recap of mine. But this time's different. It's totally different from last year, of course. As you all know, 2021 was one hell of a shitty year and it was so hard to craft this recap story, but I did it. I made this in a very personal way, just for myself. Let's open up my diary, shall we? Act 1. Things are going well. Things really went well in early 2021. I just bought my first PC and also excited to step up my editing game. The first month went by spending time with family, shooting videos with friends, you know, the usuals. Renting a full-frame body with a portrait lens was one of the highlights too. Yeah, I must say, the year was off to a great start. This is me, premiering my 2020 recap video on YouTube. I was so hyped on that video and also excited about how the rest of 2021 will. Well, you know what happened next, right? Act 2. We are fucked up. All those hypes for the year just stopped, and all of a sudden, everything became hopeless. The first thought that came to my mind was, why do I have to experience this during my time here on Earth? I'm sure many people will think the same because last year with the pandemic and this year with the coup, we can't experience and live life freely as things were before. Honestly, at this point, things have changed completely, in a bad way. Some can be at home, some can be with their families, and this is the worst, some have totally said goodbye to us. Survival guilt struck hard, but if we are still alive, we gotta do what we have to do to survive rather than doing nothing and let our lives become meaningless. This leads to the third and the final act of this recap. Act 3. What's next?
Mala the mia zagachi, yo so zakam ya to niamshi. Bones and bomb la de say gumya ye. Ho yin chain dwell bien dwedo. Timalu pieke yin gao me. Say be up to my child ni bomelo.
There are some things that I would like to highlight. Things that happened in the rest of this year. Firstly, I turned 19. This video was taken in January of 2021. I took this video intentionally with the plan of taking my mask off because I hope that in 2021, the pandemic will be over and everything will be back to normal again. Things didn't turn out the way I hoped. And I learned how to use DaVinci Resolve too. Not gonna lie, it was kinda scary at first, but I'm glad that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. When you hear DaVinci Resolve, people will straight ahead think of color grading, right? Guess what? The first project I edited in Resolve was this black and white film of mine. But all jokes aside, back when everything was normal was one of my best and proudest work I've done this year, and I would like to mark this as one of the highlights. Another crazy thing I did was singing. I made a mashup cover of Nurture by Porter Robinson, and yeah, I still can't believe I made that. third wave of COVID was something not to miss too. This wave was the worst, and I lost my grandfather to Omicron. Also, we started our production team called Uncut and got to work on a bunch of video projects throughout the year. Being able to work with like-minded people is like nothing else, and I couldn't be more excited to work on many more projects together. One of our best has got to be this short film project called Follower, and if you haven't watched it yet, don't worry, I won't spoil anything. Releasing my second EP was one of the highlights too. I'm super proud of how both the music and the visuals turned out. This was one for the books. I'm so grateful to be part of it. Like I always said before, I've met lots of cool, talented and creative people and got so many new experiences this year, but I don't consider these as achievements, rather just as memories I made this year. These memories and events I kept in my diary, and I hope one day these will become just some stories to be told.
Yes, perfect. Em chậm quá à?